Four Freedoms, Speech 1. I address you, the members of this new Congress, at a moment unprecedented in the history of the Union. I use the word unprecedented because at no previous time has American security been as seriously threatened from without as it is today. Since the permanent foundation of our government, under the Constitution, most of the periods of crisis in our history have related to our domestic affairs. Unfortunately, only one of these, the 4-year war between the state, has ever threatened our national unity. Today, thank God, 130 Americans in 48 states have forgotten points of the compass in our national unity. It is true that prior to 1914, the United States often has been disturbed by events in other continents. We have engaged in 2 wars with European nations and in a number of undeclared wars in the West Indies and Mediterranean and in the Pacific for the maintenance of American rights and for the principles of peaceful commerce. But in no case had a serious threat been raised against our national security or our continued independence. What I seek to convey is the historic truth that the United States as a nation has at all times maintained opposition. Clear, definite opposition to any attempt to lock us behind an ancient Chinese wall while the process of civilization went past. Today, thinking our children and of their children, we oppose enforced isolation for ourselves or for any part of the Americas. A free nation has the right to expect full cooperation from all groups. A free nation has the right to look to the leaders of business, of labor, and of agriculture to take the lead in stimulating effort, not among other groups, but within our own group. The basic things expected by our people of their political and economic systems are simple. They are equality of opportunity for youth and for others, jobs for those who can work, security for those who need it, the ending of special privilege for the few, and the preservation of the civil liberties for all, the enjoyment of the fruits of scientific process in a wider and constantly rising standard of living. These are the simple and basic things that must never be lost sight of in the turmoil and unbelievable complexity of our modern world. The inner and abiding strength of our economic and political systems is dependent upon the degree to which they fulfill these expectations. In the future days, which we seek to make secure, we look forward to a world founded upon 4 essential human freedoms. The first is freedom of speech and expression. The second is freedom of every person to worship God in his own way. The third is freedom from want, which translated means security to every nation, a healthy life for its inhabitants. The fourth is freedom from fear, that no person will be in a position to commit an act of physical aggression against any neighbor. Since the beginning of our American history, we have engaged in change, in a perpetual peaceful revolution, a revolution which goes on steadily, quietly adjusting itself to changing conditions, without the concentration camp or the quicklime in the ditch. The world order which we seek is cooperation of free countries working together in a friendly, civilized society. This nation has placed its destiny in the hands and hearts and heads of its millions of free men and women, and its faith in freedom under the guidance of God. Freedom means the supremacy of human rights everywhere. Our support goes to those who struggle to gain those rights and keep them. Our strength is our unity of purpose. To that high concept, there can be no end, save victory.